Welcome back to Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition. Visit speciesnutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today's guest is an old friend and a very successful promoter out there. He was the producer of the Mr. Olympia weekend. Very proud of that. And his name, Tamer El-Guindy. Welcome to the show.
Hey, David, it's great to be here with you. And like you said, we're old friends. I remember the time that you and I met in Seattle, and you were there giving us some old advice on how to get on the best shape of our lives.
Yeah, you were. I remember it like it was yesterday, and it was probably 20 years ago. You were in the Gold's Gym there in the office. You were, I guess, you and your wife at the time were running the gym, right?
That is correct. Yeah. So me and my girlfriend Jana Rotar, like she's a pro now. She's one of the judges on the panel. We needed some advice, and we kind of like flew you over. You help us out. You know, explain all your new diet and the cutting edge stuff that you had at that time.
And I'll tell you one thing, Tamer was there taking notes. I mean, he was writing everything down. I could tell, I said, this guy, I don't know what he's going to do, but he's going to be successful at whatever he does, because I said, he's taking this so seriously and asking me all very pertinent questions, and obviously you did take it very seriously. You became a very successful, bodybuilding competitor. You turned pro. You did very well in the pro ranks, and now you're killing it with the contest promotions. You and your brother took over, or I guess bought the business from John Lindsay, MuscleContest, and you guys have expanded the brand ridiculously now. I mean, you were just telling me before, what are you up to, 43 contests you're promoting?
Yeah, we currently have about 43 contests. We're really, really proud to be the premier and largest NPC worldwide promoters worldwide. So yeah, we have about 25 shows in Southern California, Nevada, and about other like almost 15 to 18 shows around the world.
Tamer, I gotta imagine it's got to be very stressful to manage that much that's going on, because not only is it's not just in your backyard in California anymore. You're going to Brazil. You were in the Philippines last week. I'm sure you're going to tell me you're going to be going to some other crazy places in the future. I mean, do you have anxiety? Do you go sleep at night thinking about, oh my God, what do I got to do tomorrow morning?
Yeah, I think that, it's about translating some of the lessons that we learned on the bodybuilding of determination, suffering, going through pain, and translating those in business. And I think the men that were able to do that, they were very successful in business. I think I own a lot, of course, to the founder of MuscleContest, John Lindsay. He was a workaholic, and now Jim Mannion gave me all the opportunities. But, those two men, they say, look, like now in management, focus on trying to be the best promoter that you can, and, and expanding the NPC worldwide. But I'm not going to lie, it's a lot of anxiety. It's a lot of nerve-wracking, mostly when you add on the top of that producing on the Olympia. But I have a great team. I think about leadership is about having a great team behind you that can do the job.
Right.
And I think that's what I have.
You did the Olympia weekend. I got to tell you did an amazing job. I haven't heard one person say that there was a glitch in anything. I'm sure you have plenty of things in your mind that you think that you can improve on next year, but I'm just telling you the overall impression of the Olympia weekend was tremendous. And when Dan announced you as the guy who was going to produce the show, I said, brilliant move. So far, I don't think Dan's made one mistake yet. I'm sure he thinks he's made some mistakes, but I don't think he's made one mistake with personnel. When Dan came to you, or you came to Dan, I don't know how it happened, maybe you could tell us, how did this whole conversation come about with you doing the Olympia and producing that show?
Well, Dan is an extremely positive leader, and and I think he had a vision to the Olympia that was a little bit different, and he had several different recommendations from possible people that could produce the Olympia. We talked a little bit. I gave him my resume, my work, and I think like we really clicked like immediately. I think like we complement each other in many different ways. He's an extrovert. I'm an extrovert. And we feel that so many different opportunities to making the Olympia better. I think that we have 3 different customers. And that's what has been forgotten on the We have the athletes. The athletes are customers. We have, the the media, they're our customers too. We need to treat them well. They need to feel good about the Olympia.
Bravo. Finally, someone who gets it.
It's the truth. And then we have our sponsors that come there and the fans. So all those people need to feel good about the experience that they're having during the show.
Right.
And if they're not, then we have failed in certain areas. And we felt that had several different opportunities, Dan and I, that we could work together into improving the Olympia.
Right.
Dan focus on certain areas, I focus on other areas, and I think overall we did a very, very decent job.
What did you go in there right away and change? Like, what did you see in the past that you said to yourself, man, if I ever get into that Olympia, this is what I would change? And when you did get into it, you did change. Tell us right off the bat, like, the main things that you made different.
I think the first thing that Dave, it kind of bothered me a little bit, and I brought you Dan's attention. I thought that a lot of like the finals being on the expo didn't give the justice to the athletes that they deserve.
You're right.
I think every single athlete deserves to be on the arena. That's the prize that you have for making to the Olympia. So we immediately made that transition. The other transition that immediately I thought that didn't make any sense was having the 212 on the same day that you have the pro guys. Because, let's just be honest. I'm a 212 guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be compared to those guys. I want to, be I want to be on the tension. And I think moving them to Friday, it really create a lot more excitement to the 212 and to the show itself.
Right. I agree.
And the other thing too that I thought it was a huge opportunity that Dan and I talked about is that, the Olympia was getting a little too restrictive. Like, people were not having a good feeling about it because it was so hard to engage and talk to us. So we felt that both of us needed to go out of our way to engage with the media and the sponsors a little bit more. So I thought those are the things that we're really focused on doing in the first year.
And you guys did a spectacular job. I'll tell you, as a media outlet, it was the first time I've ever been at the Olympia where I actually felt like, and I wasn't there, I'm talking about my crew. It was the first time I felt like our crew was welcome there. And that if there was a problem, we can go talk to you or Dan, and it would be immediately taken care of, which it was. I texted Dan from my house, and I told him there was an issue. He immediately had it fixed. And you know what? That's good business, because that leaves everyone, like you said, with a good taste in their mouth when the show's over. Looking back at this past Olympia weekend, if you had to be super critical about your job and what you did, what would you like to do better next year? And what ideas would you like to implement maybe that you didn't have an opportunity to implement this year?
So, I thought we're very successful with the production of the arena. But in a production, the arena, we did a good job. But I think the expo is still, let's just be very honest, the expo is not on par to where it should be as one of the best expos in the world. I look at some of the activities and some of the events. They're not that exciting. If you and I want to make the bodybuilding world bigger, we need to get more of an expansion of the demographics of people to going to our shows.
Right.
And that's not there yet. The other thing, too, that it really upsets me a little bit is that the athletes need to understand that this is as much as a competition, David, as it is an entertainment.
Right.
As you know, as I'm a senior VP for the UFC, and we do a lot of work with managing the athletes. Mm-hmm. And the athletes understand they gotta go there, they gotta fight, but they gotta excite people.
Right.
It's a show. And if you take out the show away from the public, you're just not gonna make enough money.
Right.
So I was a little bit disappointed, as we have been for many years with the press conference.
Right.
Like, you can go over there and look like he's the world peace. Everybody loves everybody. I don't care if you win. I don't care if you win. I don't care. We all friends. That's ridiculous. Imagine you watch a Super Bowl and you have the Green Bay Packers, the Patriots. I don't care if they win. We're fine. We're just gonna hug and kiss on the end of the show.
No, you're right.
You can't have that. They need to understand it's entertainment. We're all friends, but let's get the fans rock and roll the show.
Right. How do you do that? How do you set that up for next year where you can actually create that vibe?
So David, that is, and that's what I talked to Dan about this. That is our responsibility. Like on the UFC, we spend quite a lot of time managing those athletes. So we need to start today sitting down with those guys and say, look, this is a show. This is what you need to do. Right. And some guys I may say, hey, I don't want to do that. I'm an introvert. I don't like I don't like to be like outspoken. I don't like saying these things.
Right.
No problem. But then don't go to the press conference. You know, don't go to the press conference and say I don't like talking.
Right.
You know, well, this is a press conference. You gotta like talk. You gotta be excited.
Sure.
So we gotta prepare those guys. You know, and that's our job.
Okay, that's
to
good.
do that.
I think that's smart. Right. These guys, you can't expect them to know what to do. It's like WWE. You got to give them somewhat of a script, of an idea of where you want them to take the press conference before you actually get out there on stage. You know, because they're brain dead anyway from dieting. So
Yeah,
I think that's very
Look,
smart.
McGregor is not the best fighter on the UFC, but we're pushing him really hard because people are making millions and millions of dollars with his entertainment. You love the guy or hate him, but you're definitely watching him.
Right.
And that's what we need at bodybuilding, you know?
I saw someone put up a clip on YouTube on the 2001 press conference when they used to have to wear suits, and it was Kamali and Titus were there, and they hated each other's guts. And they were going back and forth. It reminded me of like a UFC type of thing. I thought they were going to have a fight on stage, but no one got up. No one got out of the seat. But it was very entertaining. And then Ronnie got involved, and Sean Ray was voicing his opinion with the way the athletes were being. There wasn't enough prize money. I thought that was a great press conference, and I think if people would embrace that spirit, I think it would be way more enjoyable for the fans. Because let's face it, the press conference is for the fans. It's not for anyone else but the fans.
Absolutely, David. It's a show, and that's what they got to understand. Like the athletes are there to put up a show, and it's not only about having a great body. It's about having the character and the personality that really encourages people to come and watch again and again and again. I just want to say one thing just to make sure, because I have tremendous respect for Robin Chain, and he has done a great job on the past. So under no circumstances I want to make my comments think that I came there. I think he did a great job in the past. I think that Dan and I just came in there with some new, fresh ideas. But he ran a very, very successful show for more than 10 years. What's unheard of. So I gotta give my hand and my congratulations and my respect to him. So
functionality, Robin Chang did a great job. I agree. I think that the show always ran flawless. It always looked very professional. But like you said, I mean, sometimes fresh ideas are needed, especially in the day of social media now, where they demand it. Everyone is watching that show at home on that live stream. Everyone's got their phone up in the air. They're live streaming it. The press conference. There's got to be more of a show aspect of it. It's got to be more entertaining. It's demanding in today's day and age of reality TV. And I think that you guys got it. I think over the next couple of years, you're going to get a formula down that's going to work to perfection. So congratulations on that, Olympia. I want to just mention, when you guys go overseas and you start scouting areas out for new shows, what would you say was the most difficult area you've gone into, and some of the, maybe some of the impediments that you've encountered along the way?
Well, I think some areas are very easy to put a show. Some are very challenging because of currency devaluation, difficulties with finding the right staff, understanding of like the bodybuilding world. I'll tell you, for example, I put a show in Vietnam. In Vietnam, we can charge more than like $100 for entry fees and $5 for an entry. So that puts quite a lot of challenges on a production. So, I always say it's three parts of a production that makes it successful. It's the competition, it's the entertainment, and it's the business. You may have the best entertainment, the best competition, but if you're not making money, you cannot continue.
Right, you're wasting your time.
Some parts are challenging, Dave. Like some parts around the world, it's not easy to put a show because of that. Like the money and the currencies, it makes it a little bit challenging for having the return on investment that's necessary to continue to have a show.
Right. I mean, when you go to Vietnam, where do you go? Where do you start? I mean, do you go to the existing organization that's been running shows there and talk to them, or do you actually start from scratch and do it yourself?
Yeah, to be fairly honest, like some of these organizations have run the shows in such an archaic way. You're just saying, like right now, how the importance of digital media. You may put a great show, but if it's not good on the media, it's not a good show.
Right.
So we really start from scratch.
Gotcha.
It's actually a lot easier. We start from zero and we start building up the shows. and creating a really good business like internationally.
Wow.
So we feel very confident. I think, Tyler Mannion has done a phenomenal job, giving the opportunity to the promoters around the world to do a great job. And we're just trying to continue to do things, translate some of the experiences that we have on other businesses and put them on the fitness industry. I think that's what's important,
So when you so you and your brother will fly to Vietnam together and we'll start scouting out areas like just randomly?
Well, so I think like the number one part is finding a local partner. So in every single one of those shows, David, we have a local partner in which we give him a significant equity on the event. So like the MuscleContest Philippines, for example, my partner there owns 35 Gold's gyms and 5 UFC gyms.
Oh, wow.
So they already have a great base there that we work on.
Gotcha.
In Vietnam, I connected with the guys from California in fitness. They have 29 gyms there.
Right.
So my first step is finding a local partner, because you may have the best, you may have the most experience in the world and all the money, but you still got to respect the culture and the nuances of the country that you're going.
Yeah, because you guys don't know, you don't want to start doing things that are not cool there because you don't know any better. So you definitely need someone on the ground there who knows the culture, I assume.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and understand the local market.
Yeah.
And then it's a question of like, you implementing the ideas that already are successful in that country and bringing the ideas that we have here from the U.S. the U.S. and messing them together.
Right.
That's kind of like where it's the art,
All right. I got one more question for you before I let you go. This has been a very good interview in the sense that I think people are getting a better idea of what it takes to put on a show and put on the Olympia. Backstage at the Olympia, I noticed that there was some skirmish, and I saw some video online. I saw you kind of intervening between Hadi, Shupin, and some other, I think they were the Oxygen Gym guys. What was going on backstage at that Olympia?
Well, unfortunately, one of the things that we do it all the time, David, I'm very restricted with the backstage. As an athlete, you're an athlete before. You start having a lot of people backstage, you start creating a lot of confusion, So really what was happening was something very simple. Like Roddy was like really staring at Brandon, like looking at him, but like comparing himself, like things that we do when we're backstage.
Right.
Hey, can I beat this guy? I'm better than this guy. And I think his coach was overprotective and misinterpret what Hadi was looking at him at and kind of like start talking to him. So, that's exactly why we don't have a lot of people backstage, you know? It just, it can create chaos and logistically it's not good. But it was just something like that. So my brother was there. He went there. He pushed the guys from Oxygen on the side. We talked to Hadi, but Hadi cannot hear really well. So he continued to like scream and be loud. And I was like, Hadi, just calm down. I understand you haven't done anything. But the more you talk, the more it looks like you're upset,
Yeah.
But
and of course, everyone's got their phone cameras out and filming everything back there because that's what they do. And so it was really nothing. It was just a misunderstanding.
It was just a misunderstanding, nothing more than that. I know now that, Brandon is a stand-up guy. I competed with him.
Sure.
That's the other thing I'm very proud of, David. I think that, I was a competitor before. I was an IFBB pro, and I'm producing events. I think it's good when you have an IFBB pro athlete involved as I am on the sport, because you can understand how the athletes feel. It's the same way you leading up like now the media. As an athlete, you really have a special perspective how things go. So,
absolutely.
I think like, sometimes people over exaggerate what happened. It was nothing that big. We just cannot have a lot of people backstage. That's the bottom line,
Yeah. Now you got the new show in December coming up, the Masters USA. It seems like these Masters shows are huge money makers. Every guy who's ever competed before, every girl who's competed before, and still wants one more shot at the stage and one more chance to earn that pro card, will do that North American. They'll do the Masters Nationals, they'll do the Team Universe, and now you got this Masters USA, which seems like an obvious extension because there was no Masters USA. Masters USA. What made you decide to add another show, to the Masters circuit, so to speak? Well,
first, Gary Udit, as you know, has done a fantastic job with his master nationals. They have over 1,000 competitors there.
Yeah.
So it's a huge demographics out there. Like, I think, like, you know, the 35, 40, 50, it's a lot of people working out for wellness nowadays at that age.
Yeah.
And we cannot ignore the public anymore. So of course I talked to Jim Mannion. Jim, you know, understood the importance of maybe having a show on the West Coast that could service some of the customers there. And, you know, so Jim gave me the authorization and approval to create this Master USAs there. We're really excited about it. We think it's going to be very successful. But most important, we're thinking that it's a huge public that we need to give even more attention to.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in their 40s, 50s that want to continue to compete just to highlight the achievements that they have in life. You know, we can't ignore those guys.
Yeah. Now, Gary's show is like 4 days long. Is your show going to be more than 1 day? How are you going to do it?
So, this is a little bit crazy, but we're starting on the first year. So you know very well the schedule. The Excalibur is going to be on Friday.
Right.
Okay. And then the Master USAs is going to be Saturday. And depending on how many entries we have, it'll be Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, wow. So, okay. So you might go to 2 days if you need it, is what you're saying.
Correct.
I think you're going to need it. I think by next year, you're going to need 4 days. Would you ever consider doing a Masters USA Pro show, kind of like what Gary does at the North American?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, you know, that's the one thing that, David, we need to start doing. We need to start trying to do more Master Pro shows.
Right.
To, you know, I think what happens, a lot of those Master guys, they turn pro and they, you know, now they got to compete with the younger guys and they feel like they don't get the you know, the same recognition that they deserve. So, you know, as a promoter, I want to do a better job trying to promote more Master Pro shows. I think that's definitely something we need to try to do it.
How about this, Tamer? I think you're the guy to do it. How about the Masters Olympia? Would you ever consider bringing that back?
Look, I definitely think that's something that we need to do it. I think like the challenge here, David, it's like I said, the competition is going to be successful. We can make it entertaining. It is the business portion of it. In the past, it was very challenging to, you know, get the return on investment on that show because of, like, you know, sponsors not sponsoring the show, or you don't having the same audience that would allow, you know, the promoter in the end of the day to put the show in and make some money. I mean, at the end of the day, that's how it works. So
how about you hold it in conjunction with the Masters USA?
Yeah, it's definitely something that, you know, I'll need to discuss with Jim on the future, depending on how that show works, or, you know, or Gary. Gary's also very, very involved on the Master shows. So I think as a group, as a team, we're a team on the NPC worldwide and the FEB. See what it makes more sense. But I definitely think that's something that we should consider on the future.
Especially since a lot of the guys in the Open Olympia are over 40. I mean, you'll have Dexter.
Yeah.
Theoretically, you could have Sean Roden. Who, I mean, you got a lot of 40-year-old plus guys in that lineup. I got news for you. Tamer El-Guindy is 48. You know, you could have quite a lineup there.
You know, in terms of a lineup, I wouldn't be concerned. I tell you what, the bikini divisions, they'll be phenomenal too. You have quite a lot of great women at the age group that they are rocking. They're like, you know, they're winning some of the shows, so it'll be very exciting. It's just a question of, like, you know, all the big promoters, Jim Mannion, getting together and making a decision on what he thinks will be better for the federation.
I think that you guys should definitely do it. And I'm sure Samir will get back on stage too, if you hold that event, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's possible that Dave Palumbo will get back.
Nah, you'll never see me again. But Samir, you might see back on stage. Samir Banu, the Lion of Lebanon, might make his comeback for the Masters Olympia again. Tamer, thank you so much for coming on, taking time out of your busy schedule. Congratulations on all the shows and all your accomplishments. The Olympia was a raging success thanks to you and Dan. And we, the fans, we, the press, we really appreciate what you guys are doing.
I would like to thank RXMuscle and you, David, for all the amazing job that you do and all the passion they have for the fitness industry. I consider you a very, very close friend, and I wish you all the success in the world and to RXMuscle. Likewise.
Thank you so much. And guys, that's going to take us to the end of another episode of Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition. I'm Dave Palumbo for Tamer El-Guindy. We'll see you next time.